All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we have sneak peek number 1 for the November update. It's coming a week earlier than I expected, but I'm not mad at it because this means good things. It means we're going to be getting a little bit more out of Black Panther Wakanda Forever than I initially thought. So let's dive into it, man. We have the typical greetings from CM Fragment, letting us know that the ruler of the underwater has returned with new powers for his people. The king of Talokan, Kul Khan, the feather serpent god, has returned, ladies and gentlemen. So it says right here, check out the new look and abilities of this super villain who has risen to the surface to fight for his kingdom. He's tired of all of you guys polluting the ocean. Namor is back with more power than ever before. Check this out, man. Yo, I don't know who chose this music, but seeing Namor do his tribal dance with this music in the background, oh my gosh, bro, it just hits different. So, as you can see, Namor is getting a new uniform for Wakanda Forever, but in addition to that, right here at the beginning of the trailer, they basically tell us Tier 4 Namor. This is the Wakandan alphabet. I'll bring it up for you guys and we'll decipher it together. Let's get it. Okay, so for any of you guys who've never seen it before, this is the Wakandan alphabet. And every shape in the Wakandan alphabet corresponds with a letter in the English alphabet. So if you take a look at the trailer here, you can see they chose some specific letters which actually spell out Tier 4 Namor. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean right here. So it starts off with T, which is the little hut looking thing with a chimney off to the side. That's what I'm going to call it, right? Then we have the X, which corresponds with an I from the English alphabet. Then we have the hourglass, which corresponds with an E. And then we have this pitchfork, which corresponds with an R. So right there we have tier. Let me get rid of those so we can reuse those letters. Now we have 4, which starts off with an F, which corresponds with a circle with a dot in the middle. Then we have the O, which is an H from the Wakandan alphabet. Then we have the U, which is basically just a noose. Then we have an R, which is the pitchfork, right? So right there, we have tier 4, okay? And if we just go ahead and get rid of those, we'll see Namor. The arrow pointing up is an N, which is actually kind of funny because the arrow pointing up to the tier 4 tells us that Namor is going up to tier 4. Now we have the Y, or whatever you want to call it, it's another pitchfork, but it's an A. And then we have this triangle, double triangle off to the side, or a B, which corresponds with an M from the English alphabet. Then we have the H again, which corresponds with an O from the English alphabet. And last but not least, we have the pitchfork once again, which is an R. So right there, we have Namor, N-A-M-O-R. Tier 4 Namor confirmed at the very beginning of the trailer. I really like that they chose the Wakandan theme. And they went ahead and gave us a little puzzle here. So any of you guys who didn't know that there was actually a Wakandan alphabet, there you go. Okay, you learned a little bit of something today. However, in addition to that, in this trailer, they also gave us a little bit more. So if you go all the way over to here, you'll see that behind Namor, for a brief moment, there's actually an indicator of him getting tier 4. So they actually put tier 4 in here twice. Double tier 4 sneak peek. Let me close this window so you can actually see it. Now, this one might be a little bit harder for you guys to see, and I had to rewatch the trailer multiple times to see it. But if you look right here in front of Namor, you'll see that there's actually a T right here. And as we move over, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines that is faintly there behind him, right? And if you take a look at the rest of these black spots, you'll notice that there's nothing specifically there except in these 2 spots. So right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. You can clearly see it here. If you look closely enough, you might say I'm reaching, but at the very beginning they say tier 4, and right here they have another indicator that Namor is getting tier 4. So I love it. Honestly, I love these little puzzles in the sneak peek. Shout out to Netmarble for that. And one of the best things about this is, since this update is coming a week earlier than expected and Wakanda Forever doesn't drop until November 11th, we're gonna have a 2-week period after Namor gets his new uniform and tier 4 for us to start saving tier 4 combat books of Ashanti again to possibly tier 4 Black Panther. Because I'm of the mindset that it is impossible for them to give us a Wakanda Forever Black Panther update without giving T'Challa his just dues. This man's never been top meta in the history of this game. He's one of the characters that launched with the game. He's gotten 3 uniforms and still to this day he's mediocre. So I would love to see, even though again, he's dead in the movie, obviously, the RIP Chadwick, but I would love to see them give him something spectacular to put him at the forefront of the game, kind of like how Hulk, Iron Man, Black Widow, and all those other characters are getting a run right now. It would be fantastic to see. But for any of you guys who were hoping that Namor was going to become a hero again, I knew he was going to be a villain. He's the villain of the movie. So I don't have a problem with them keeping him as a villain, because there's a few stages in World Boss Legend that specifically require a mutant, and more specifically, a mutant male. So this is good and bad to some degree, because 1, he's paywall, and 2, the other mutant that has a tier 4 is also kind of paywall, and most of you guys skipped over her uniform, right? Obviously, Storm is a free-to-play character, but the uniform that she has right now, her strongest uniform, was a paywall uniform. So the first 2 mutants to get tier 4 being locked behind a paywall to be used at the highest level is kind of a bummer. I get it. However, don't forget that, you know, with the anniversary coming, it's still some ways away, right? You will have a chance, right? Possibly, if they do this again, you might have a chance to get Namor in a couple months when they do the anniversary archive event. Here's the hoping. Namor needs a couple things in his kit, but the biggest thing that he needs this time around is a heal, okay? And they need to give him a better uniform bonus than last time. They gave him like a HP shield, which is kind of just dead in the wind at this point. I would love to see him get a heal. He has accumulation on his tier 3. I would prefer this on his 1 through 5. Besides that, I would say maybe bump up his damage reduction a little bit. Namor always had good HP because combat characters generally have good HP. So I'll say just a little bit more damage and more survivability. I'm curious to see how they're going to make Namor differ from the other combat tier 4s that we already have, considering the combat category is so flooded. We have Hulk, Venom, Carnage, Moon Knight. And all of them are somehow different from each other, which is amazing, right? Hulk running rampant in PvP. And then Carnage with his artifact is a demon for PvP as well. But then you have Venom, who's no slouch for PvE content. And Moon Knight, hey, even though Moon Knight was one of the very first to get it, he's still up there in the conversation for one of the best, most useful, most versatile characters in the game, because he has these 2 useful tags for World Boss Legend, right? The leadership tag and the weapon master tag. So I'm curious to see how Namor is going to differ, right? He does have the durability tag just like Hulk. He has the strong tag, which means you'll be able to use him with people like Titania as a leadership. It's going to be interesting to see how they do for the Feather Serpent God. So ladies and gentlemen, leave me your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about this one? We are going to be up to 5 combat tier 4s with another one waiting in the wings. Hopefully after Wakanda Forever, they take a break, a long break from combat tier 4s. They bump up the materials that we can earn in different game modes, and then also start giving us some others. I'd love to see a couple more speed tier 4s, but with so many combats, if they're not really powerful, I don't know how they're gonna hold up to Hulk in PvP. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section, man. Namor tier 4 is coming next week, Tuesday. Oh my gosh.